The tale of the thrifty 85-year-old billionaire. Once upon a time, in a big city, lived an 85-year-old man named Mr. Pennyworth. He was famous for having a lot of money, more than anyone could imagine. People called him a billionaire because he had $1 billion. But he was not famous for being kind or generous. In fact, he was known as a stingy person. Mr. Pennyworth had a big, tall house made of shiny glass and expensive stones. It had many rooms, but he only used a few. He said he didn't need to waste money on heating or cooling empty rooms. He wore old, simple clothes and never bought anything new. He didn't like to spend money on things he thought were not necessary. He never went to fancy restaurants. Instead, he ate simple meals at home. He grew vegetables in his small garden and cooked for himself. People in the city knew he was rich, so they wondered why he didn't enjoy all the things his money could buy. Mr. Pennyworth had a car, but it was an old one. He said new cars lost their value too quickly. He fixed his car himself when it broke down because he didn't want to pay a mechanic. He even reused old plastic bags and newspapers because he didn't want to buy new ones. He didn't have many friends because he didn't like spending time with people. He thought they might ask him for money or favors. He spent most of his time counting his money. He had a big room filled with stacks of cash, and he would count them every day to make sure none of them were missing. One day, something unexpected happened. A small girl named Lily moved next door to Mr. Pennyworth. Lily was a cheerful and kind girl who loved to talk to everyone. She knocked on Mr. Pennyworth's door and said hello. He was surprised because no one had ever greeted him like that. Lily was curious about the big house and the old man. She asked him questions and told him stories. She didn't know he was a billionaire, and he didn't tell her. They started talking every day, and Mr. Pennyworth found himself looking forward to their conversations. Lily told Mr. Pennyworth about her school, her friends, and her dreams. She told him how much she loved painting but didn't have good paints. Mr. Pennyworth listened carefully and thought about what she said. One day, Mr. Pennyworth decided to do something unusual. He went to the art store and bought the best paints he could find. He also bought a big canvas for Lily. He knocked on Lily's door and gave her the gifts. Lily was so happy that she hugged him tightly. From that day on, Mr. Pennyworth started changing. He realized that money could be used to bring joy to others. He started donating money to schools, hospitals, and animal shelters. He helped people in need and supported causes he cared about. Lily and Mr. Pennyworth became best friends. He learned to enjoy life by sharing his wealth. He took Lily to fancy restaurants, and they traveled to different places together. He even bought a new car so they could go on road trips. As the years went by, Mr. Pennyworth became known for his generosity. People couldn't believe the change in him. He said that meeting Lily had opened his heart. He learned that spending money on others could bring more happiness than keeping it all for himself. And so, the once stingy billionaire became a symbol of kindness and giving. He showed the world that it's never too late to change, no matter how old you are. Mr. Pennyworth and Lily's friendship reminded everyone that true wealth comes from the relationships we build and the good we do for others.
As Mr. Pennyworth continued to embrace his newfound perspective on life, his actions inspired others around him. His story spread through the city and even beyond, becoming an example of how a person's heart could transform with the right spark. The media caught wind of the story and wanted to interview Mr. Pennyworth. At first, he was hesitant, not used to being in the spotlight. But he realized that his story could motivate others to reconsider their own ways of living. So, he agreed to share his journey. In the interviews, Mr. Pennyworth talked about his past life of extreme frugality and how meeting Lily had changed him. He admitted that he had missed out on the simple pleasures of life by being too focused on money. He encouraged people to find a balance between saving and spending, to enjoy life without neglecting the needs of others. The interviews led to more stories being shared. People who had received his help or donations came forward with gratitude. Schools spoke about the new libraries he had funded, hospitals talked about the advanced equipment he had provided, and animal shelters praised his support for the well-being of animals. One day, a young man named Alex reached out to Mr. Pennyworth. Alex had grown up in a foster home and had dreams of becoming a chef. But he couldn't afford to go to culinary school. Mr. Pennyworth, now a mentor and friend to many, decided to sponsor Alex's education. Alex worked hard and became a successful chef, opening his own restaurant that offered free meals to those in need once a week. As the years went by, Mr. Pennyworth's health started to decline. He had more wrinkles and moved slower, but his heart remained vibrant. He spent his days with Lily, sharing stories, laughing, and reminiscing about their adventures. He was content, knowing that he had made a positive impact on the world. When Mr. Pennyworth passed away, the city mourned his loss. But they also celebrated his life and the legacy he had left behind. A park in the city was named after him, a place where people could gather, enjoy nature, and remember the man who had taught them the value of giving. Lily, now a successful artist, continued to honor Mr. Pennyworth's memory. She painted a beautiful mural in the park, depicting their friendship and the journey of change they had embarked upon together. The mural reminded everyone who saw it that even the most hardened hearts could be softened by kindness. And so, the story of the once stingy 85-year-old billionaire became a timeless tale of transformation. It showed that it's never too late to change, to learn, and to make a difference in the lives of others. Mr. Pennyworth's life became a beacon of hope, inspiring generations to come to live more compassionately and to find joy in the act of giving.
As Mr. Pennyworth's story continued to resonate with people, it reached far and wide, touching hearts across different countries and cultures. His journey from a miserly billionaire to a symbol of generosity became the subject of books, documentaries, and even a heartwarming movie. Lily, who had played a pivotal role in Mr. Pennyworth's transformation, became a renowned artist known for her paintings that captured the essence of human emotions and connections. She held exhibitions featuring her artwork, and a portion of the proceeds always went to charitable causes that Mr. Pennyworth had supported.
The legacy of Mr. Pennyworth inspired a generosity movement. People from all walks of life began to re-evaluate their priorities and think about how they could contribute positively to their communities. Schools started teaching children about empathy, kindness, and the importance of giving. Volunteerism and acts of kindness became the new trend. In honor of Mr. Pennyworth, an annual event called Pennyworth Day was established. On this day, people were encouraged to perform acts of kindness, no matter how small. It became a day of community service, where neighborhoods came together to clean up parks, visit nursing homes, and help those less fortunate. Pennyworth Day reminded everyone that a single act of kindness could create a ripple effect of positivity. The city where Mr. Pennyworth had lived decided to turn his old mansion into a generosity center. It became a hub for charitable activities, offering free workshops on various skills, supporting local artists, and organizing fundraising events for different causes. The center aimed to continue Mr. Pennyworth's legacy by fostering a spirit of giving and collaboration. Lily, with her artistic talents, created a beautiful memorial garden within the Generosity Center. The garden was a tranquil space where people could reflect, find solace, and reconnect with their inner selves. A statue of Mr. Pennyworth holding hands with Lily was placed at the heart of the garden, symbolizing the bond that had transformed both their lives. Generations passed, but the memory of Mr. Pennyworth's journey remained alive. His story was told to children as a bedtime tale, reminding them of the power of compassion. The park, the Generosity Center, and Lily's mural continued to inspire people to look beyond material wealth and focus on the wealth of the heart. As time went on, the world faced new challenges, but the lessons from Mr. Pennyworth's life endured. His story served as a reminder that in a world driven by money and possessions, the true richness came from giving, from connecting with others, and from leaving a positive impact on the lives we touch. And so, the story of the once stingy 85-year-old billionaire became an everlasting legacy of love, transformation, and the enduring power of generosity. It taught humanity that every person, no matter their age, has the potential to change, to grow, and to leave the world a better place than they found it.
As Mr. Pennyworth's legacy continued to thrive, his impact extended beyond the city to the global stage. His story resonated deeply in an interconnected world hungry for tales of hope and transformation. In response to the widespread influence of Mr. Pennyworth's journey, a movement called Pennyworth's Promise emerged. This movement sought to encourage governments, corporations, and individuals to allocate a portion of their resources to projects that would benefit the greater good. People around the world began to examine their spending habits and lifestyles, aiming to align them with the principles of kindness and generosity that Mr. Pennyworth had exemplified. The generosity centers that originated from Mr. Pennyworth's old mansion multiplied, becoming community hubs for positive change on an international scale. These centers provided resources, education, and support for people to start their own charitable initiatives. They became places where individuals could learn about different cultures, share ideas, and collaborate to address global challenges. Lily's artwork, which had gained international recognition, was featured in museums and galleries across the globe. Her paintings captured the essence of empathy, love, and human connections. Her artistic expressions were a reminder that beauty could be found in the simplest acts of compassion and understanding.
Pennyworth Day grew from a local event into a worldwide phenomenon. On this day, people from all corners of the earth came together to perform acts of kindness and volunteer their time for the betterment of society. Social media played a significant role, with hashtags like #PennyworthPromise and #GenerosityMatters trending as people shared their stories of giving and the positive impact they were making. The world saw a shift in priorities. Governments began investing more in education, healthcare, and social welfare programs. Corporations started implementing sustainable practices and philanthropic endeavors, aiming to leave a positive mark on the planet. People recognized that they could use their skills, knowledge, and resources to contribute to a more compassionate and equitable world. The story of the stingy 85-year-old billionaire became part of school curricula, inspiring children to learn about the transformative power of empathy and giving. His story became a beacon of light for those facing adversity, a reminder that change was possible, even in the face of deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. As decades passed, Mr. Pennyworth's tale continued to remind humanity of its capacity for goodness. His legacy persisted in the countless lives he had touched and the positive changes he had catalyzed. His story served as a testament to the idea that age, status, and circumstances were not barriers to personal growth and making a difference. And so, the story of Mr. Pennyworth lived on, etched not only in history books but also in the collective consciousness of humanity. His legacy remained an enduring symbol of transformation, unity, and the profound impact of a single individual's choice to embrace generosity and compassion.